Quite honestly, these are just a series of notes from my journal on perspective. And I have a dozen bullet points in front of me. Today is Cultural Monday. So keep that in mind, mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. And how does this relate to the culture of Keller Williams? And at the same time, my goal is always to help you think differently. My goal is to get you from where you are to where you want to be. It is the purpose. It is the vision of what we do on this morning call. All right, your choices, your words, and every move you make are permanent. Your choices, your words, and every move you make are permanent. Life is lived in indelible ink. You know, you think about writing on a whiteboard. You can erase what you wrote and change the script, unless you accidentally write with a permanent marker, like I've done many times, and you can't erase it. Well, that's how life is lived. You know, when you were kids and you made a mistake, you're playing kickball in the front yard and you accidentally kicked the ball into the mean old lady's house next door. And somebody had to go chase the ball and hope that she didn't come out and start yelling at you. You yelled, do-over. And that's cool. And I'm a firm believer in second chances, but that's not what we're talking about here. For the most part, there are no do-overs in the choices you make and the decisions you take. We are making brushstrokes with every move we make that are creating the painting that our lives will become. Either a masterpiece or a disaster. Which one are you creating? Time is an odd thing. Christmas Eve, for most of us adults, is pretty much like every other night of the year. But to an 8-year-old, time slows to a crawl. Remember that? I remember when I was little, it was the only night of the year that I would go to bed early without somebody making me go to bed, because I knew the sooner I fell asleep, the sooner I woke up, and hopefully Santa Claus was there the night before. He always was. What we calculate in years, in reality, might be a quick dusting of God's hands. You know, we created time. We, people. We created time because we needed to make sense out of days, weeks, months, and years. One year from today can seem like a long way off, while 10 years ago can seem like yesterday. What are you going to do a year from today? Open up your calendars and tell me, December 13th, 2022, what do you have in your calendar? And your response would be, John, that's silly. I don't have anything in my calendar a year from now. That's a long way off. And then think about the last 10 years. Blink. How did I get here? Time is currency. Once spent, it's gone forever. You can spend all the money in your bank and you can make more money and put that in the bank. You can go bankrupt and become a millionaire again, and then go bankrupt again and become a millionaire again. But once you spend time, it's gone. Proper perspective about every facet of your existence is only everything. Proper perspective is only everything. Perspective is everything. Perspective is the only thing that can dramatically change the outcome of an event without changing any of the facts. If you see my gratitude walks on Facebook and I share, I'm on a gratitude walk, One of the things that I'll write is your everyday life is someone's dream life. Perspective. I remember in 2015 when we moved to Coral Springs and I got out of production to become a team leader, and there was a lot of things going on in life. Let's just say that a lot of things that were not planned. And I found myself in that position where the money in the bank was gone and I'm starting over again. And I bought this beat up 10-year-old Lexus RX 350, nice car, right? Except mine wasn't, it was a piece of crap. And I'm living in an apartment. I had gone from making over $800,000 a year as a real estate agent, being very successful and living an incredible life with Monica, Colin, and Lacey on the west coast of Florida, to living in Coral Springs, making 1/10 of what I was making and dealing with incredible adversity, right? And I found myself feeling really bad for myself. If I'm being transparent and if I'm being honest, I had some really bad stinking thinking going on. Zig Ziglar. I was mad because I'm driving this piece of crap car and I'm living in an apartment. I haven't lived in an apartment since I was in college. And then one day I realized, John, there are people in this country, forget third world countries, because it's definitely true there too, but there are people in this country who will never own a car. And you're complaining about the car that you're driving. There are people that don't have a roof over their head, and you're complaining that you live in an apartment. As bad as you think, this is me having a conversation with myself, as bad as you think your life is, there are people who would love to have your life. Perspective. It's only everything. Every journey begins in the dark. To find the pathway that will lead us from darkness into the light, all we need is perspective. I was in darkness. I needed to move into the light. All I needed was perspective. I am where I am supposed to be. Every moment in your life, good, bad, you are where you are supposed to be. You know, Andy Andrews said when he wrote The Noticer that he was sharing when he was homeless. He was 18 years old and living under a pier in Orange Beach, Alabama, LA, Lower Alabama. And he said when he wrote The Noticer that, you know, he had read that God puts a man where he wants him to be. And Andy Andrews' response was, well, thanks. You put me under a pier. But he would tell you today, if you had the opportunity to talk to him, that he would not have written any of the best-selling books he's written. He would not do what he's doing today had he not lived that time under the pier. He needed to go through that moment of darkness in order to create light for all of us. My job is to help people to get from where they are to where they want to be. If you are doing what everyone else is doing, you're doing something wrong. If you are doing what everybody else is doing, you are doing something wrong. If you are doing what everybody else is doing, you are doing something wrong. Most people are not obtaining results that are considered extraordinary. If your thinking is causing you to do what everyone else is doing, you are only contributing to the average. If your thinking is causing you to do what everybody else is doing, you are only contributing to the average. Even if you are contributing to the average at a high level, it's still average. Okay, talk to me. Raise your digital hand if you're on Zoom, and if you're in the room, just put your hand up so that we can take turns. Let's mastermind this. What did you hear? What are your thoughts? Laura in the room, not Laura on Zoom.
Darkness creates light.
Darkness creates light. You know, one of my favorite darkness conversations is, Hervé, do me a favor. Turn that light off. Dark. It's dark. Turn it back on. It's light. Does it ever stay dark when you turn on the light? Never, 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 ever. Darkness always loses. Light always wins.
It wasn't fully dark.
Don't have a pen. Wait a minute. Yes, I do. Aaron, young man. Clarissa, your son is in timeout. Laura Uzun, talk to me.
Boy, perspective. I'm always telling my people on my empowerment website that perspective, change the way you look at your life and watch your life change. It's the key to your success. It's the key. I mean, people complain to me, oh, this or that. And I said, well, you need to look at it from a different perspective. Be like a hawk and go high up in the sky and look at it bigger, broader. I said, it won't look as bad. And then also look at what's going on with other people. How can you help them? How can you be a light in the darkness for others? It's going to help you in the long run. Thank you. Preaching it. I love you, John. Thanks.
Good stuff. Thank you, Laura. Aaron, as long as you behave yourself.
I promise this one's related, but no, it definitely opened my eyes and put me in perspective when you said God puts a man exactly where he's supposed to be. Because I know for myself personally, I know I'm not where I want to be, but now, you know, you just shed a light on a different perspective. As God wants me, God has me exactly where I'm supposed to be.
You are exactly where you are supposed to be. Absolutely. You know, we're on a journey with a destination that is assured. It doesn't, the quote is not, we have reached our destination. We are on a journey with a destination that is assured. You know, for me, and that statement can mean a lot of things to everyone. And I'll just tell you what it means for me. My destination doesn't happen in this lifetime. I'll never reach it.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
Victoria Gordo.
So what came to mind as you were reading, after reading all of it, was if it is to be, it's up to me. You know, it's about accountability. It's about the choices you make. It's about, you know, it's not just your perspective. It's everybody's has their perspective, and everybody is right in their perspective. You know, it's not right or wrong. It's just a matter of that's what it is, and understanding everybody's perspective to get the full picture. And it was a matter of understanding that, you know, time is currency. And once it's spent, it's spent. You can't live in the past. You can't live in regret, right? So it's a matter of if it is to be, it is up to me.
Yeah. Guys, I want you, Victoria, powerful. If it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, why not me? And time is spent. Once you spend that time, it's gone. Now, this is not a guilt trip. I just want you guys to think. Next time your son or daughter asks you to read a book to them and you tell them you're tired, that you'll read them a book tomorrow, you don't get that time back. I learned that in 2015 as well. When I was living here and Lacey and Monica were living on the west coast of Florida while she was in treatment, and Lacey would visit with me on the weekends, or I would visit with her on the weekends, she would ask me, Dad, do you want to go out to eat? Or Dad, do you want to go to the movies? Or Dad, do you want to go wakeboarding? And prior to that time period, I was like everybody else. Most of the time, not today, let's do that tomorrow. And in 2015, I made a deal with myself. And the answer was, every time the answer is yes, whether I wanted to or not. Here's the cool thing. Motivation happens after you take action. Once I made the decision to do it, I wanted to do it. But if you wait until you want to, you never will. Shirley, I saw your hand up and it went down. So if you want to chat, please put your hand back up for now. Okay, for now, let's go to Lance.
It just reminds me of a previous Survive to Thrive. Basically, what I'm hearing is if you want to achieve the things that others haven't, you have to do the things that others won't.
Yep. 10-4. So that you can have what you want when you want it. Be, do, have. Yes, I know we changed it to achieve, whatever. I still like have. So, Kim Crouch, talk to us.
Yeah, what I was thinking that came to my mind is I've been through some adversity. I'm sure we all have. And as long as you don't give up and you keep trying and you can maintain just a little sliver of hope for something better, then you don't lose, you don't fail. It led me, I had no exposure to personal development in my life until I was almost 40. And I only found it because of what I was facing in my life. And I needed help. So I found it. And that path eventually led me to Keller Williams. So
Every journey begins in the dark.
Yeah.
Right, Kim?
Yes, it does.
Every journey begins in the dark. So that can mean so many different things to so many different people. Adversity is preparation for greatness. When next time you find yourself in adversity, rather than saying, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why did this happen for you? Now, what are you going to do with it? All right, I don't see any more hands up. So we're going to jump right to role play. I've got 9:28. I hope you guys got value today. Thank you to the 21 of you who visited with us via Zoom. And I think we're up to 8 or 9 in the room, if I'm counting right. Who knows? Time to get to work. What is work? Work is 20 conversations. It's not 19, it's not 18, it's not 17, or it's 10, or it's 5. It's whatever your standard is. It's not my standard, it's your standard. But whatever the standard is, it's a standard. It's not a goal. Hit the standard. If your standard is 20 and you stop at 17 because it's close enough, I mean, after all, that's pretty darn good. You didn't have the 18th conversation, which could have been the $1 million listing that you were going to get that day, but you didn't get it because you didn't have the conversation. Have care call conversations, not sale conversations. Always lead with gratitude. Bring value to every single conversation. Focus on building a relationship. Focus on getting at least one appointment, adding at least one person to your database, and getting a referral. Find somebody today that is thinking of selling their home. Whether it's 30 days from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now, doesn't matter, because you're looking for opportunity, period, not just opportunity right now. Get face-to-face with somebody who is thinking of selling their home today. So in the next 250 days, you will be face-to-face with 250 potential sellers and then follow up forever, because you reject rejection, because no does not live in your vocabulary. No simply means not yet. Remember that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. And your job is to follow up forever. Laura in the room, coming to you. So your job is to follow up forever. You know your line? Your line is hire me, okay? So your job is to follow up forever so that you're creating emotional proximity, so that when I make a new decision based on new information, that new decision will be to
Hire me.
one more time,
Hire me.
louder.
Hire me.
There you go. All right, everybody, make it a great day.
You want your pen back?